Welcome back to the series 101 Reasons to Forgive. This is day 65, and we are prepared to share with you the 65th reason why forgiveness is important. Reason 65 is forgiveness fosters self-discipline. Forgiveness fosters self-discipline. A lot of the challenges that we experience are linked to ill self-discipline. Many of the challenges that we experience on a daily basis are linked to us not being disciplined enough with ourselves. Discipline in how we speak, discipline in how we react, discipline in how we respond verbally, discipline in a number of the things that we do which stimulate from others, stimulate in us, stimulate in the environment responses that we negatively respond to. In other words, the lack of discipline in us is further compounded by the fact that the environment will not think about us, but that we have to think of how we respond to the environments where we find ourselves, the conversations, the interactions, and everything that comes with where we go, what we do. It is important that we understand and that we always remember the last word on how disciplined we are resides with us. Forgiveness makes it possible for us to discipline ourselves. How does that happen? Well, one of the best persons who know you is you. You know yourself well. I know myself well. And even when we are not obedient to what we know of ourselves, when we don't wish to accept what we have discovered in ourselves, we know who we are. Forgiveness gives us an opportunity to not just know ourselves after the display of a particular behavior, but before that, out of previous experiences, we know how we may naturally respond to a particular situation. So we know ourselves. We may be disobedient to what we know of ourselves, but we do know who we are. What I would suggest at this point is, as urgent as it is that we forgive others, we urgently forgive ourselves. In other words, pay attention to ourselves just as urgently as we'd want to pay attention to others. Forgiveness fosters self-discipline. As you forgive yourself, pay attention to what you're forgiving yourself for. In other words, let us not be naive that simply because we have forgiven ourselves of a particular behavior, for going through a particular experience, that we may not likely go through that experience again, or that we have now amassed supernatural strength that we will not experience that again. As much as we may never, but the focus should be on how prepared are we? How much have we grown? How much are we willing to learn from the previous experience to not walk into a situation like that again? Self-discipline makes it possible. But even as we discipline ourselves, we need not forget that forgiveness is going to motivate us to remain self-disciplined so that we can better achieve that goal. Affirm with me today that you will take time to assess yourself, assess your life, and apply self-discipline. you will be able to apply self-discipline through forgiveness of yourself. Thank you for being here on day 65. Looking forward to seeing you on day 66. Remember, if you do like the content of our video, please press the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and do share the content with as many persons as possible. Forgiveness fosters self-discipline.